Mazen, what are some of your top study tips when you are told, hey, Mazen, you have to go learn Security Plus? Where are you going to start personally in order to start preparing for that certification exam?
Okay, basically, number one, that is really easy. Build a routine. We as humans, we like schedules. Okay, this is just how our brain functions. It is very easy to notice that people that wake up at the same time every day and just sleep at the same time every day, they tend to be people who get things done. So I'm not trying to say like you got to wake up at 5 a.m. or stuff like that. This is not how we do things, but building a routine. First of all, you need to figure out how much time you got to dedicate to the cert. Okay, because some people take the certifications because it is required by their employers, but some other people are taking it for professional development. For me, it was a combination of both because I was taking it as professional development and it was also required by my employer before a deadline. So I knew I didn't have much time. So I needed to dedicate maybe let's say 3 hours. And you need to understand what 3 hours or maybe what time frame works for you because some people are night owls, some people study better at night, some people study better in the morning. You might be a job, you might be a mom or a dad, you have kids to take care of. So you need to figure out where that studying is going to fit into your daily routine because it's going to take you some time. Building that routine can make studying so much easier because you can't just go all random. If you try to go all random, you're gonna skip days, you're gonna get lazy with it, you're just gonna waste a lot of time. So you need this routine to keep you accountable to studying. That's my first thing.
I was that guy who did not build a routine. So I knew that I wanted to get out of the military. And I should preface this by saying that first you have to understand the why. On why are you going after this certification? Is it to get a new job? Is it to advance in your current career? Is it to change sectors? I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here because everyone is interested in learning CompTIA certifications or some kind of certification body for information technology. But a lot of people are doing this so that they can increase their salary, they can open up better opportunities for their family, they can start working remote because guess what? IT has a lot of remote opportunities. And so first figure out your why. And once you figure out your why and you understand where you want to go, that's when you start building that pathway, right? A lot of people identify the A plus as that first step because that's the best way to get your foot into the door. A plus, it's going to teach you how to be a help desk technician. You're going to know the ins and outs, the ones and zeros of how to be that first tier one person in the help desk call center. And you're going to understand the difference between a hard drive and a mouse, monitor and a microphone. You're going to get those brass tacks. You're going to start to understand that kind of stuff. And you need to, because if you don't have that background, then I wouldn't recommend immediately diving into CASP Plus or your CISSP. You can't dive in too deep right off the bat because you're going to be learning about what binary is instead of best practices for information security as a security engineer, right? So understand where you're going, understand why you're doing it, and then start to build that plan. And as I said previously, I was the guy who was utterly disorganized. I thought, well, I'm going to get out of the military. I don't want to speak Chinese anymore. I don't want to work with linguists anymore. And I want to get into information technology because it's a great career path. And I'm here because I believe in what I'm saying. And I saw Network Plus as something as a way to get myself a job. And thankfully I did. But it took me over a year to pass my Network Plus. And I failed my first exam. I think the passing score, it might be 720 out of 900.
It is.
I whiffed. I think I missed it by 10 or 20 points. And man, when you're studying for months on end and you just swing and miss, it's really painful. But it made me reevaluate how I was studying. And I then went after it like Mazen just said. I created a study plan. And I'm not saying that you have to do what I did, but I got to work an hour early every single day. And Monday through Friday, I would study for an hour. And I just worked through practice exams after practice exams. I had a book. It was about yay thick, and it had 1,200 questions in it. And I read through a textbook. I did that, and I started building my own labs. I went with Cisco Packet Tracer open source tool. And so I started learning routers and switches and how to actually operate a network. And after that point, I felt more comfortable and I passed, thankfully. But the actual act of taking that hour each day and saying, look, I'm here an hour early. Leave me alone. This is my time, but I want to make sure I'm here. I'm doing professional development. This is my time. And I was able to pass it afterwards. And that impressed Jason enough to have me be where I am today. Set a schedule. Absolutely critical.
Do your research. Just go on Google and type CompTIA A plus and understand what is about the certificate. For what I'm trying to say is we're going to tell you tips about the A plus, the network plus, and the security plus, but you can take this and apply it to other certs. For example, something like the server plus. If you go online and you go on Reddit and you go on different websites and different forums that talk about the certificate, you're going to get an idea of how CompTIA approaches the certification. For example, the A plus, it's a huge cert. You need foundation level knowledge about lots and lots of topics. But also, you might find some people just trying to maybe overstudy or try to overanalyze the information provided in the certificate. For example, something that I like to say about the Security Plus is that you need to know what to do and when to do it. This is a huge part of the certification. So, yeah, just understanding like what to do in certain scenarios. Like I remember, I like you can't really talk about the questions that you get on the exam, but basically I got lots of questions that are asking me what would I do in certain situations, lots and lots of questions. And even though there are lots of technical details in the exam itself, but knowing what to do in certain situations, that helped me really go through the Security Plus and just pass on my first try.